In case you missed it, here are 3 things you need to know from this week's NXT. First, Miles Bourne came out and cut a very good promo talking about how he wants to overcome his disability and be better known for his ability than his disability. It was a really inspiring promo and he did really well. Feels like this was like the first big test for him. And then later in the night, he had a match with Ethan Page with his #1 contender spot on the line. And again, he had another strong performance. It was a little clunky at a few points, but I think putting him with Ego is a way to kind of like bring him up to speed fast. He hasn't been getting a ton of big looks before becoming the #1 contender last week, so I think the next couple weeks are going to be like a crash course to get him ready for a main event level match with Obafemi. But so far, I think he's done a great job. Second, Tatum Paxley is on a bit of a downward spiral since Gigi Dolan was released a few weeks back and it was announced that Shotzi's contract would not be picked up. And they're actually kind of leaning into it a little bit. They mentioned her friends being gone. She had an outburst that led to a match with Thea Hale, and then after losing the match, she snapped and like tried to gouge Thea Hale's eyes out. And I don't know if they're going to run with a whole story of her feeling abandoned and kind of crashing out, but if they're adding this type of edge to her character, then I appreciate it, and I just hope it doesn't get too like insensitive to the people who actually lost their jobs in all of this. I think it's a delicate line to balance, giving her something meaningful to do that is based off of that as the story, without then also like really hammering home the point that these people lost their jobs. So we'll see what happens, but I'm glad to see her get more to do and get something that actually seems to have some substance to it. And then third, honestly, the rest of the show is kind of just a holding pattern. Ethan Page laid out Ricky Saints at the end of the show to kind of continue their feud. Wes Lee beat Tony D'Angelo in a match after Tony D'Angelo was distracted by Stax, who attacked Tony D'Angelo afterwards to set up a match for them at Battleground. It's just been a lot of the same things. We had the contract signing with Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. And it just feels like we're kind of like waiting to get to whatever the next level is. And hopefully that's a Battleground for a lot of these stories, because it just feels like a lot of spinning tires and doing similar or the same things, which extended to the main event too. It ended with another Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, like uneasy standing together stare down type thing. I think it's like the second or third week in a row it's been like that. So I don't know. I'm hoping Battleground is a good reset because I think they're getting to the point that they need it. Let me know what your favorite part of the show this week was.